Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. It's a warm welcome I give you. We had a guest that came into my show who's been on before, Kelsey Baggs, and they started at about, let me see, they started about 12:31 p.m. here on the west coast of California, and they talked with lots of messages. I guess they're for me, but maybe they were confused about my next time. And they finished at 122. So they've been in before, and they were asking some questions. And it's actually a couple. Michael's the father, Kelsey's the mom. And I'll get back to them in a second here. Hopefully, they'll be back in again. But it's a warm welcome wherever you're from. It's a warm welcome. And CPS is not a laughing matter. I take it very seriously. About 50% of the CPS agencies are corrupt. How do I say that? Well, I've talked to 2,700 people here in the last 23 months, almost 2 years, from around the world. Yes, this live stream is around the world. I have 23 countries, including the USA. We started with Indonesia, then Bangladesh, then India. Then we go up to Middle East, to Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to the continent of Africa, we have Liberia and Sudan, and then Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and then the provinces of South Africa. Then up to Europe, we have the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales. And then we've had Denmark and Sweden. These people are texting in or calling in from around the world. Then across the pond to North America, we have Canada and its provinces. And then in the United States, all 50 states have texted in or called in, including one that's not a state, which is the Washington, D.C., where the federal government is. They have called in with a bad case of CPS. Then south of the border, we have Mexico. Then further south in South America and north of Brazil, on the east coast is Grenada. Then in the South Pacific, we have New Zealand, and then land down under Australia and its states. So that's 23 countries, and all of them have something in common as me. They ran into a bad CPS. Now, statistically, as I've found out from study and so forth, that there's, it's a 50-50 shot that you'll get your case settled easily. And that's sad to say. But this agency is very corrupt. They intimidate, they lie, and they also instigate. They do retaliation, and they steal. Now, that's a lot of heavy stuff to say about a particular agency, especially if it's a government agency. This government agency was founded by Congress in '62 when they asked social services to create a body of social workers to protect our children from neglect and abuse, and to further try to do family reunification, because studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents. The best parents are the biological parents. Now, a lot of you have experienced horror stories and been demeaned and trafficked. Your children have been trafficked and alienated. They do alienation and trafficking, which is against the law. I had that same experience. I too was abused when I was in with CPS. And all the people I've talked to, the 2,600 people I've talked to, have said the same thing. We all have something in common: a very bad CPS. So I'm here to help you fight them, to get your children back, to hang on to your children and do the right thing. I'm very much for protecting our children from abuse and neglect. But I think falsifying reports and using the CPS to further your needs is wrong. There are two kinds of individuals. There's the delegate, the lay people, and then the professional uh, reporters. Now they report, call in. If it's a layman, they report what they've seen. Problem is laymen use it as retaliation against the neighbor. And a lot of the cases, I would say about 75% of the time, they're wrong. They've been miscalled in. Now, the professionals, these are your firemen and police, your doctors and nurses, and your teachers and counselors and principals and caregiving places, are right about half the time. Half the time, they're right about it. And that is a sad state of affairs when you don't have an entity that you can trust. CPS is serious business. It should not be the way it's set up. And they're right now investigating DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is investigating social services. They also investigate the child protection system. So that is happening there. Now, hello, Kelsey Bods. You've come in at 7:07. I saw your messages at 12 something today to about 1 something. Yes, Michael and Kelsey. And I know you're on earlier, and I saw your messages, and I'll go through them right now because you took the time to write them. I'm sorry I wasn't here to take your messages, but I'm glad that you expressed yourself. I forgot the area you're from, Kelsey. Anyway, she started out at 12:31 this afternoon. This is Michael and Kelsey. Again, when you get on today, I have a quick question to you. This is Michael. Michael's asking a question. I was wondering if there would be a conflict of interest. I don't know what the conflict of interest is, but I'd like to hear further. He said, Michael says, sing on the judge, currently now residing over our case, was the prosecuting attorney on me 8 years ago to 10 years ago that tried to put me in jail. Well, yeah, it's a conflict of interest. You're right. You can't have a judge. You're supposed to have a fair trial. And in CPS, there isn't a jury. It's all done by one man, the judge. He makes the determination of whether or not you keep your children or get your children back or do family reunification. It's all in the hands of the judge. He's like a referee, but it's only one, and he can be very biased. So my answer to that question is you need to ask for a judge that has not prosecuted because he'll have a biased opinion. Now, you said he tried to put you in jail. I don't know what it would be, but the case wound up getting dismissed by another judge. Oh boy, that sounds terrible. I don't know if it was a criminal charge or what, Michael. But another judge, and also now the case manager in a case is not answering the phone, replying back. Now, imagine the case manager is the social worker assigned to your case in your CPS matter. The supervisor who's lied, I remember you telling me that under oath, it's only giving me and my wife a half hour out of the 2 hours. What do you mean you're getting only a half hour of the 2 hours? Are you talking about visitation? You're talking about a meeting with social services? Okay, to be presented with her children, this is not enforced or being done for the last 2.5 months. And ever since the alteration with the case manager, my wife last Thursday, things have changed. They have completely taken away my father's preservation with the family, pretty much completely, and no longer will even help me find housing or give me a gas card, which I've done before. Well, that is social services. I don't know if CPS, I know they've given bus cards, but I'm not sure about gas cards. Michael further says, Play had my wife and me both going to encompass a group program over the addiction. I guess you were accused of drug addiction. I guess she's already been doing family seek and safety. And so I have for the 2.5 months. Okay. They're saying I'm not doing the seek and safety. I need to do the group meetings and then flip flop. It's around. She already doing groups and seeking safety. Well, Michael and Kelsey, are you doing what the court ordered? If you're not using your own judge, you're going to have to go with a court appointed attorney, and you have to do what the judge orders, not necessarily social services or CPS, the child protection system, but you're going to have to do what the judge orders if you're not going to have a real attorney to fight it. So Michael says there's really no end to the negligence of the case manager and the supervisor of Dearborn County, Indiana. There it is, Dearborn County. Now remember, CPS, I clearly seen. I'm just wondering how I would present this to my lawyer tomorrow. Well, first of all, what kind of a lawyer do you have tomorrow? Is he a court appointed, a public defender, or is he one you hired that is schooled in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, who has fought against CPS and won cases against CPS? So I don't know what kind of attorney you got. Michael says, when I meet him, because with the recordings I have and text messages from my phone, you can clearly see this turned vindictive into a vendetta and a grudge not helping me with my children. I agree. Now, Michael further says, and also we've already contacted the old Buzzman program. It's called Ombudsman, and the Ombudsman is bad news. You don't want to rely on them. They work for CPS to report everything to CPS. Well, long as you document everything, that's good that you've done everything. We've passed all our drug tests, family preservation, subcontracted out through CPS agrees with this. Also, my father's coach and father preservation agrees, but this got out of hand and a taste for his supervisor. I did a hip violation one of our visits with the father coach, and he's willing to give a written statement on the case manager that did that right in front of us in 2 visits, because she has had to come down and take pictures of the children every month, and she says lay her eyes on the children. I'm totally against her taking pictures of my children, but there's not much I can do about that. Why are they taking pictures of your children? Why are they taking pictures of your children? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You guys have been wonderful, and you guys are really doing a good thing, because there really is parents out there who are getting taken advantage of them. And I know that. I know that for a fact. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You're very, very welcome. I'll help. This is Michael, and I'm getting to do a visit with my children right now. And apparently the father's coach is saying the excuse from them cutting my family preservation is that was too much conflict. Too much conflict. Now, Michael further says about us saying that people stubbed out to do CPS job is it doing their job, which is more false allegations by apparently none other than the supervisor of case, not just the case manager. Now, Michael further says, and her name is Molly from Dearborn County, Indiana, and Tara, the case manager. I hope I can get enough evidence to my lawyer tomorrow to get both these women fired and get these involved in the case. We don't want to use names of social workers, okay? So all you can do is you call one a supervisor and one a case manager. All right. Now Michael says something isn't helping my family put together. I keep my family. This is tearing me family apart. And I can literally prove it all because we call the supervisor for lying under oath for covering the case manager while she was on vacation. Well, I understand that, but it's not, you don't have to prove it to me. You need to prove it to the court. You need to prove it to the judge. You need to get your attorney to work for you. Now, Michael says because neither one of these women knows how to do their jobs, the case manager has been only doing her job. We found out for 7 months. I'm still trying to find how long the woman, um, I can't use the name, has been a supervisor. So that brings up to your messages there, Michael. And I just read it in the room. Hopefully, everybody heard it and everybody can help you. I want to help you too with your case. Now, one thing I do have to do is about some housekeeping things. Please, um, hmm, oh, my phone's in my back pocket. I was trying to get my phone so that it's all set to take phone calls. So, okay. Standard. Okay, I had to do a quick message to my show producer. Um, Let me go back to our friend here, Kelsey and Michael. Um, Let me see. I think you've said something more here. Um, well, we had a message here. We have all these nice messages that have come in. So the Kelsey and Michael have a court-appointed lawyer, and they further um, say that it's to see if there's any bruising or new scratches or marks on them. I assume your children that would be accused of doing them. That's the reason for taking pictures of my children. They say. Well, you only have a court-appointed attorney, so you're at the mercy of CPS and the judge. I'm afraid to tell you that without a real attorney, you're going to have a hard battle. So you have to go with best what you got. Michael and Kelsey also says today, well, is that do my job. This is my first day at my new job. I completely forgot I had a random drug test today and wasn't able to go to CPS building to do it. You know, this drug test, you can do your own drug test with your own doctor. I don't trust the drug tests of CPS, but since you don't have when you have a court-appointed attorney, you're kind of at mercy whatever they dictate. But you need to document everything, and if you messed up, you messed up. It's not the end of the world. But I have to go to work to see my lawyer and show him all this evidence and make him work for me. Hopefully, he's willing to do that, considering everything has been done to us and we can prove. Well, you know, there's four things if you're going to use a court appointed attorney. One, you need to tell him that you're innocent. You make sure he understands that we did not do the things they ask. Okay. And if you did do those things, then don't talk about it. Let them talk about it. Okay. Now, number two, you want to definitely do family reunification. You want your children back. So make sure that your court appointed attorney impresses upon the judge that you want reunification. Three, you want to follow whatever the judge orders. So you make sure that your court appointed attorney tells the judge that my clients will follow everything you tell them to do because they want their children back. They want revisitation. And lastly, you want to ask for as much visitations as you can. You want to press upon your court-appointed attorney to impress upon the judge that you want to see your children, whether they're supervised or not supervised, whether they're Zoom or not Zoom. You need to see them as much as you can. You need to exhibit. So those are four things you want to do if you don't have a real attorney. If you're going to use a court-appointed attorney, you're at their mercy. But those are four things you need to do. Now, Michael says just how negligent the CPS people really are playing with people's lives and children ridiculous. I realize that CPS is wrong and bad and everything else. And I'm sorry that is the case. I really am sorry. But they're very corrupt and they're pretty much going to do whatever you tell them to do. And so I have somewhat caught up with you, Kelsey. Now, one thing for you guys in this room, I forgot to put up my banner about how to text me a message. And what I like you to do is to either make a question or a comment about CPS. I also talk about APS, Adult Protection Services. And Adult Protection Services and Children Protection Service are two different entities. Children are under the age of 18. Adult Protection Services, children over 18 and elders. Now, what happens, a lot of times children are still in the system. And at 18, they're supposed to be returned to their parents' home or in there, whatever the situation is. But they're still caught up in CPS, supposed to be turned over to Adult Protective Services, especially if they're special needs. If they're not special needs, they can go out to society. They're adults. So they have a thing called Adult Protection Services, supposed to handle special needs children. Now, the other group of people are your elderly people, people that are with a caregiver that might be abused or neglected, or they're with a family member being abused, neglected. So these elderly people are important people in this room. So, all I ask you is that you state your first name, your city or county, your state and country. Well, your state. Now, if you're outside the United States country, I don't need to know all the USAs in the US. I already know all the states. I can tell you all 50 states. So that's not a issue here. And then that's all you have to do. And you people with outside the U.S., put your country in. Put your country in. Michael says, I think what I'm trying to say is really it's it's woken me up to where I want to get into this battle and make CPS see their downfall. That way, hopefully, it'll reform. I'm not giving up no time soon. Well, here's the problem: without an attorney, you won't be able to fight CPS. They have lots of money. It's $1 trillion business that they make by having kids in the system. Once they get the kids in the system, they get the county to give them unlimited amount of money. Starts off with approximately $20,000 per child per month that they get. And if the child gets adopted into foster care, they'll get a bonus of $35,000 from the federal government. It's all about money. And it's going to be really hard to fight them unless you have a real attorney. Now, besides text me a message, you can also be a guest on my live stream. And to be a guest on my live stream, all you have to do is email me, bobp@vincentwdavis.com. When I see your email, I'll forward it on to Grace, who in turn will set up a link for you to get on StreamYard, which is a software application I use that uses YouTube. And you'll be a part of it. I can take up to 9 of you in the room, and you can talk, and we can talk each other and help each other. So I love you to be a guest. I really would love you to be a guest. Now, my show times are easy: Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. And then on the weekends, it's 8 a.m. Then at nighttime, every night of the week, 7 days a week, it's 7 p.m. Those times are all in Pacific Standard Time. That's the West Coast of California. So if you're Mountain Time, you're 1 hour ahead of me. Central Time, you're 2 hours. Eastern Time, you're 3 hours. And if you're over in the United Kingdom, you are 8 hours ahead of me. You're 8 hours ahead of me. Now, if you're in Hawaii, you're behind me by 3 hours. You're behind me 3 hours. And Africa and Europe, you're 9 hours ahead of me. So those are the time zones. And so that way you can pretty much figure things out there. So to be a guest, you send me what day you want to be on. I forward it to Grace, who in turn will send you a link. When you get the link, copy and paste in your browser. If you get knocked off, put the same link in again. It's good for the whole show. And then you'll be able to see and talk as a guest. That's all there is to it. Our rules are simple. We do not use profanity. We do not eat or smoke on the show. And we certainly don't use the names of judges, social workers, or the children's first name. We don't use their names. So that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it to be a guest. Lastly, I want to put up my phone number. That means you can call me. That's my office number, 626-698-0990. It'll ring on my phone. It'll ring on my phone, and I'll answer it. I have 2 numbers on my phone. I have my personal number, which is through my carrier, and then I have my work number, which is used through Vonage. Vonage is a software streaming phone application I use. So there's my number, 626-698 0990. Now we have some more messages here from Kelsey and Michael. Um, Now, he says, I apologize for that. I did not know that. I will not do that anymore. I thank you. I'm really sorry about the names. I really, it's okay. It's okay, Kelsey and Michael. It's okay if you use the names. It's just I'm trying to protect them. That's all I'm trying to do. Hello, Zoe. Welcome to the room, Zoe. And what part of the world are you from? I'm looking right now. I had my kids returned for allegations that were proven to be false, but we recently found out that my fiance and I are being put on the CACI. What's going to happen with the kids on the next hearing? I have no idea what CACI is, but you have a hearing in November 6th. So you must have a CPS case. What county or what city and what state or country are you from? Zoe. I warmly welcome, want to help you. We also have Casey Boggs here. How much do you charge to take on a CPS case and be willing to represent someone over Zoom? Well, it all depends on your case, the complexity of your case, and how long it's been going on. My attorney, Vincent Davis, is a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but his retainer basically starts at about $5,000. His hourly rate is $500, but he has different rates for his hourly fees, and he has different rates for his retainer. And so you'll need to check with him. Now I have the number 888-888-6582. You call the office, you tell reception that Bob Pace sent you, and then you ask to speak to Mr. Davis about hiring him, and he will talk to you. Now, when you do talk to Mr. Davis, tell him that Bob Pace sent you, and tell reception Bob Pace sent you. It's important about that. So, um, he is for LA County. He's office in Arcadia. The quote I gave you, 5,500, is for LA County. Now it can be different amounts. I given a quote to Atlanta, Georgia of $125,000 and $500 an hour. I gave the same quote to Minnesota. So, it varies from state to state, but a lot has to do with the air transportation, the ground transportation, the hotel and food, and then the license he has to purchase in that particular state. So that's why it's up a little high. That's why you hear $125,000. But call in to 888-888-6582 and you get the exact amount. Now, furthermore, um, you can also call that number to get information about our upcoming live streams. Vincent Davis does two of them. And I know that KK Richardson, New York, does one of them on Monday night at 8, which is 5 o'clock our time. Then Mrs. G has one. And then Sandra Pina has another one. And then there's another one. Vincent has office hours during the weekdays, and then he has a session at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. So anyway, you call that number, they'll give you the schedule. Also, they'll can sell you books or pamphlets or guides of how to fight CPS. There's a grandparent guide just fresh out now. It's a step by step for grandparents to adopt their grandchildren. It's a good guide. It's $9.99, but it's on sale for less than $5. If you use the sale code PACE, capital PACE, all capital letters, and add the number 50, you'll get 50% off that particular guide. So I'd like to tell you that too. Now, Zoe further says is that um, Child Abuse Central Index. Okay, I never heard of that one there, but that's okay. The Child Abuse Central Index. We're in California, LA County. Okay, Zoe, you're right in the backyard of Vincent Davis. He'd be the perfect attorney for you. And so um, you got to be careful because if you use a court appointed attorney, there's a good chance you can lose your kids. Now, Kelsey and Michael Boggs, please keep text me. I want to help you. Um, oh, we have Kelsey Bob's in blue now. I guess Michael's in brown. Okay, I think I could try to figure you guys out. And then we have Zoe Perez, who is from California, from LA County. I really thank you, Zoe Perez. Now, my number is there. You can call it 626 698 0990. I have less than a half an hour left. My show will end at 8 o'clock tonight. It will end at 8 o'clock tonight. So you can still call in. I'd love to hear from you. I'm really, people ask me who I am. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a husband who's helped raise 6 children, has 43 years of marriage and 61 years of life skills, or I've been working that long that I can, teach you guys a lot on life skills. And so, and one of the life skills I've been saying lately is you all need to get legal insurance because you never know when a legal matter would come up, like a DUI. You need an attorney for a lot of these things there. So why not get legal insurance? There's life insurance, there's car insurance, there's all kinds of insurances out there, pet insurance. So you want to get what's called legal insurance, something that will cover the retainer and the hourly fee for a lawyer. And I found a quote, I think it's from MetLife, that it was a dollar a day. So it's $365 for a premium for a year. That didn't sound too bad because a lot of the premiums are about like that. So so think about legal insurance. So really set your mind at peace. Shop around, get 3 quotes. Make sure you read through the fine print. Now, Zoe says, what happens if that is on my record? Will I be able to still have my kids? Well, I don't know what's on your record. What do you mean on record? Um, you're being put on the child abuse record, so you're found guilty of child abuse. You certainly don't want to be put on the index because that will help you work against you. Now, if you are abused and you're found guilty of that, you need to fight that. You need to fight that because having that indexing on your record will hurt you at jobs or hurt you with you getting your apartment. Your credit rating will hurt because of that. So it's very important that you do not get put on the child abuse central index and that you get yourself removed. Again, that will take a fix that. They'll take an attorney to fix that. Now we're at the about less than 19 minutes left before my show ends. I'd love to have a call. I love you guys ask me these questions. I appreciate the questions, but I can help you answer them. Now, Zoe says, who is from LA County in California, it's been more than 30 days. I never received the letter to appeal it. I was not notified. Well, they're bad about doing that. That's where you have to ask your attorney. And if you have a court appointed attorney, you're going to end up hearing nothing. I'm so sad for that. But you right away, you got to appeal that decision. Now, sometimes the statute of limitation may be 15 days, 30 days. I don't know. But you don't want to have that your name on that index. You got to get that removed. And the only way you can do that is to get an attorney, because a court appointed attorney won't help you there. Court appointed attorney is basically holding your hands in a CPS case and maybe open the door for you. But they're really not going to fight for your case. You're on your own. And the problem is, if you have a court appointed attorney, which CPS hopes you take, then you can't fight them pro se, meaning you can't talk to the judge. You see, when you're represented by an attorney, you're not supposed to talk in court. And the bad thing about the child protection court or the family court or dependency court is that it's all run by one person. The judge is the referee, meaning it isn't a jurist, like a group of jury that'll decide whether you're guilty or not. Now, that can be done in certain states. I know Texas has it, a trial by jury, but you have to ask around. I know in LA County they don't. And it's sad because that one individual makes a decision for your life. There's a lot of responsibility. If that judge is corrupt or maybe has a thing for you, that's a no-no, and it's really sad. I'm so sorry you have to put up with something like that. Now, judges are elected. They're elected officials. And in November, we'll have elections for new judges. So try to know your judges and have the right judge that are in the courts. We need to have the judges that are fully trained and qualified. Now, I have no further comments or questions since Zoe posted one at 7:41. But I have answered everybody in there. I think Michael and Kelsey, I've tried my best to help you guys there because yours is a tough, tough case. So tonight we've had Kelsey and Michael, and we've had Zoe in here. Do we have anybody else? Did I forget anybody else? I hope I did not. I know some of the rooms are talking and stuff, so. Now the clock has continued the ticking, and Zoe just asked, yes, please ask one more question. I really want to answer your question, Zoe. Zoe is from LA County, California. Okay, we're slowly getting down to the bewitching hour, and um, I got about 10 more minutes left. And I'm going to have to end the show at 7:50. So let's try to get our questions in. I love to help you. Um, you can also check the follow button or check me notifications so you'll be notified, and do emojis. I love thumbs up, happy faces, smiley stars. I love to see emojis. That's great. That's great. So I want to thank you all. Okay, my show is getting close to the end here. We have about 5 minutes left of my show, and then we're going to end it. So let me see, Zoe. Did you? Can you please answer my question? What is your question? Um, will I be able to keep my kids? It's been like 8 months since the case opened. I have a child that has leukemia. Is it still possible to fight it? Well, I'm not a doctor, but you can still fight your kids. I can't guarantee anything because you haven't told me whether you've been charged of either being negligent or you did abuse or both. And where your case is at the moment, Zoe, I want to help you there. So, what is your question? If your case been going for 8 months, Kelsey says, thank you for all the answers that you've been able to give us, sir. We're going to fight CPS with everything we have left in our being for our children. So that way, this madness stops sooner or later. Well, good luck with it, and never give up. Never give up. There's always a way, and I'm good at brainstorming of how you can fight your case. Now, Zoe, your case, I don't know too much about it to say yay or nay. You've been talking a little bit about it, but I don't know if you're accused of neglect or abuse, and where you at on your case. You said you're put on the record on the index, which is not a good thing to have. The CACI, which is your Child Abuse Central Index, is bad because that will help you hurt you in getting jobs or getting a place or getting loans. That's sort of negative on your record. Um, okay, Zoe says it's failed to protect negligence, but it's all false allegations. Okay, but where are you at on your case? Are you have you had your um, do you have a reunification plan started? Do you use the plan? Has a judge ordered you a reunification plan? Um, I don't know whether you have because I think you're using a court appointed attorney, which is not going to be good for you. I realize it's false allegations, but you got to have your attorney prove it. Now, one thing again, when you're using court appointed attorney, you can tell them if they do not perform, then you will sue them for negligence. Further, you will report them to the state bar where they will lose their license. So that's two avenues you can do. You can sue them and report them to the state bar. And no one wants to sue because it isn't fun. There's no really winners. And it costs money for an attorney otherwise. So I don't know. I have a good case to sue CPS and never did. Um, I don't regret it because I spent all my money and lost my favorite home to get my two boys back. But anyway, um, I want you all to keep fighting. Do not give up. Now I'm going to replace my phone number now with the information at the federal government level. Okay. Um, it's called Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. There's the website, there's the phone numbers, which is the White House area code 202, and an email to send your stuff. If it doesn't work out at the county level or at the state level, that's the federal level that you can fight. That's the federal level you can fight. Oh, okay, your kids are there. You did have an attorney. They returned. Good news, Zoe. So your answer to your question previously, I don't know if the answer is you need to get the index. You need to get that off. And you will still be able to keep your kids. Um, you say the case is open. I don't know. The child that has leukemia has nothing to do with negligence or abuse unless they're trying to insinuate you have something to do with that. So, familiar Mocha, hi, familiar. Don't hire the guy. Google his firm and his name and read the many, many mornings at times. Well, we're here to be positive. I'm really sorry here that you feel that way, whoever that was. Um, First of all, my rule is if you don't have a name, I can't have you in the room. Second off, if you don't give me a location, again, I can't have you here participating. This room is to help people, not badmouth people. Not badmouth people. I'm here to help you. And um, the attorney, Mr. Davis, not may be perfect for all of you, but I know he's a good attorney. I've used him, and I know David Halago had him today, and he's seen him perform. And so a lot of people have said positive things. Now, I don't know what went wrong in your case, whoever that was, but I'm sorry. If you don't have a name and you don't have a location, I can't have you participate in the room. I'm sorry to do that to you. This room is for responsible people. It's for people that care and want to help one another, not destroy or be negative. I don't want negative actions in 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 here. But now Zoe says, I might be accused of child abuse. I want to fight it, but I want to make sure my kids are going to be with me when this is happening. Well, here's the thing is, you want your kids to stay with you, get an attorney involved. You hire an attorney. You let him help you keep your kids. You do not answer the front, you don't answer the door, don't let them in your home to inspect it, and do not surrender your kids. They have to have your permission, or there has to be screaming or yelling going on, or they have a warrant. That way they can get your kids. But you got to basically don't answer the door and get an attorney and have your attorney meet with them and discuss with them and tell them what they need to do. But you got to be a heads up. If you've been in the system once before, it's easy again. And especially you have that on the index, you need to get that removed if that wasn't true or you want to get removed there. So hopefully that helps you out, Zoe. Thank you so much. We had Zoe here from LA County, California. Thank you. We have Kelsey and Michael Boggs, and they're from Indiana. And thank you. I know you've been in here several times now. And then we have, who else we have here? I think that's about it. I haven't seen my regular riggers, but I was hoping to hear from David tonight, but he's probably too burnt out. He's probably too burnt out. So with that being said, I'm going to show a video at the end of my live stream. Please watch it. Also, do not give up on your children. Do not give up on your family. Keep fighting. Come here. I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good night and God bless. This is Bob Pace signing off.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith in